Good morning, everybody. It's 8:35 on Monday morning, April 19th. I just want to run through a couple charts, a daily chart and a 60-minute chart of the SP 500 of what's going on and the possible setup that we're looking for. It'll be a long trade if things pan out this morning or later this afternoon, and we'll just kind of keep an eye on it. Okay, so here is the daily chart of the S&P 500. It's the ES Mini. And Friday we had the large sell down, and that has pushed the market to an oversold condition. And pretty much, just to recap, the trend is up. Any pullback, any type of dip, any sell down has been pushed back up with buyers. So any type of pullback, we've seen new money come back in and buy it up. So today we've had, or Friday we had the large sell down. Market's dropped almost 2%, and that pushes it to an extreme oversold condition. So I'm figuring we're going to get some type of bounce back today, if not maybe tomorrow. Sometimes this momentum carries through to the next day, so we might actually see a new low made today, but then and we might want to scale in on that new low and catch the recoil back up to test the highs later this week. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Of course, the market can change on an intraday basis, and I may not want to go long. We might actually look to go short. Right now, because the market seems to be kind of toppy, we have to keep a close eye on what's going on. So more or less what we're looking at here, the question is it just a pullback, like these little pullbacks that we've seen, and or is it a January top, something like this? Like, are we seeing this first sell down, an extreme selling, and then of course it recoiled back up, test the highs, and then it waterfalled off? So that's the question right now: is are we going to get carry through and see another large selling day, or are we just going to get a snapback and it's going to get bought back up, and then later this week it'll pretty much sell back down again? And you can see from previous large moves down, like over here, any big selling with large selling volume has been purchased. Any sharp dip has just been bought right back up. And of course it happened right up until the market rolled over here. So the real question is are we right here, say at this red candle, or are we at this last red candle before it waterfalls? So we need to be careful today that it's not a carry through and it's just the start of the waterfall, because if it is, then we're actually going to look for a pushed oversold condition. We're going to look for a pop, and then we're actually going to try and short the second wave down, and then once we see the market flush out, then we're going to scale back in and ride the next bull wave. So right now I'm looking at the market as though we are right here at this red candle down, and I'm expecting we're going to see a new low push today as panic stop orders get triggered around 9:30. We'll probably see a spike low, and we'll see if that volume and the selling carries through. And if it starts to reverse, we might just take a small long position in the SP 500 and see if we can catch a snapback and test near the highs. So that's more or less what we're looking for. If I bring it to the current time frame here, what I'm looking for is intraday. This is the futures chart, so we've already got a new low, but I think intraday New York trading times, I think we'll see at least a wick. We'll see selling down, and then we'll probably see it push back up. And of course we might want to try and buy down here and catch a 1 or 2% rally back up in the next 1 or 2 days, which will be a pretty good return for a short-term trade like that. But we do want to be taking profits. If we do get into it, as soon as we're up 1% on that trade, we do want to sell half the position or a third of the position and move our stop to break even or better, because I'm worried that it's only going to be a couple candles and then it starts to just waterfall down, and there's a long way that this S&P could drop. So we'll have to be very careful that way. So if I pull up, this is the daily chart. So now if I pull up this is the 60-minute chart, And I'm just going to quickly kind of recap for any of you who are here the first week. Um, what we had the first week was we had a setup right here to go long, and we ended up having our entry order 50 cents, 2 ticks too low, but we didn't get filled, but then the market took off without us. And if I just zoom out, we're kind of in that same situation right now. And let me just get the current time here. What happens is you get this long rally up, and then you get this overbought push. It's almost like it's just panic buying, really. It's people just flood in, and nobody wants to sell anything because everybody's so bullish, and the people jumping in, of course, are paying a premium, and there aren't any sellers out there, so the prices just kind of rocket higher. And of course that puts it in an overbought condition, and then you get this grind lower, and it's this grind right down here that was very intriguing and gave us this low risk setup to buy down here. And what we're seeing now is more or less the overall trend, the longer trend, and we had this bull flag in the middle. Bull flag usually indicates a halfway mark, and there can be multiple bull flags depending on the time frame. They just keep kind of happening in the halfway marks of everything. So anyways, we had this huge run up. Everybody's panicking to buying. We had a tiny pullback. Everybody bought into it again, and then profit taking came in, and then we saw this head and shoulders form, which I did a video on and I pointed out on Friday morning. And it looked like the market was going to head quite a bit lower with gold. So what we're seeing now is this. We've had the breakdown, the sell, and now we've got this grind, and this is the same grind as what we saw over here, and it's going to put it into a very, very oversold condition, and we're going to try and see if we can pick it up somewhere in the middle of this support level today or tomorrow. We'll have to see what happens, and we should get a recoil back up. So if I just zoom out on this 60-minute chart, you can see everywhere where there's been an overbought condition, and then you get these oversold kind of pullbacks. And I have a feeling this is going to be one too, but this pullback is much sharper than previous ones. The volume was a lot larger, so I do think the market has topped. I think we're going to see it come back up probably to underneath this head and shoulders, and then we'll probably see it drop down, and it'll more or less form a larger head and shoulders, which will have quite a bit more potential. So that's kind of what I'm looking for, and we'll just play it by ear, and I'll see you guys in the chat room. Talk to you later.